Hey, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Sunday, May 16th to Saturday, May 22nd. So last week we had a lot of energies definitely pressuring us to accelerate the purging process. We are still in a cleansing, in a removal, in a defragmented state where we are breaking up old light codes, old programming, so that we can definitely align with the new light codes coming in. So we had that new moon in Taurus activation, definitely put many of us on our butts, our physical bodies, of course, needing the rest that we had to provide it so that the energy could find its way through our physical bodies, breaking up those light codes, planting new seeds, new intentions of new light codes, and of course, preparing us for the new storylines, the new soul contracts that we are about to jump into. We can't talk about last week without the major event of Jupiter moving into Pisces. This is definitely going to be a little bit wish-washy, a little bit vague. It is going to make the collective a little bit hypersensitive. This is where we align with our intuition, our higher selves, divine source, where we dive into the mystical side of life, where we push ourselves outside of our comfort zones, pushing the boundaries of what it is we believe in, especially when it comes to ourselves. We also can't talk about last week without noting the fact that Mercury has moved into its retrograde period. Yes, Mercury will be going retrograde at the end of this month, and now we enter into the shade period. Pay attention to what is going on, the emotions coming up, the thoughts coming up, the topics and the themes that you're currently dealing with. This is going to be a good indicator of what Mercury retrograde's topics and themes are actually going to do for us. It is going to be a very revealing time as we dive deeper into retrograde season. And of course, we are now in the eclipse window as well. So this week we have some very interesting configurations with the planetary energies. Mercury, Venus, the Sun, Chiron, the North Node, all making some appearances throughout this week. These are the personal planets. These do have a tendency to hit us in a much more strong and sensitive way. And because of that, this is the fine-tuning process of recognizing where it is we're detaching from the old and where it is that we need to attach to the new. So let's jump into it. Let's see what this week has in store. So, some ascension symptoms that we can expect for the week. So this is, again, may I remind you, we are still purging, we are still ending, we are still providing closure. Now, with that being said, we are still inviting new things in, replacing the void in which we are creating, the space in which we are creating by letting the old go. So this week we can expect a lot of memory flashbacks. Now, contributing factors to this, Jupiter in Pisces and Mercury being in its retrograde period. Memories, flashbacks, dreams, emotions that can be very debilitating. Why are they very debilitating? Because we are time travelers at this point. We are under the eclipse energy. We have the ability to experience past, present, and futuristic emotions all at the same time. It may mean a subconscious memory popping up, creating the physical and biological reactions of trauma within the body for us to kick in the present moment, process that, reevaluate that, create a new narrative for that, and clear ourselves of those energy codes. With that being said, dreams are very important for the next 2 months. And the dream state has the potential of healing the trauma that the conscious mind is not strong enough to heal. So you may find that your dream life is more real to you than your waking life is at particular points within the next couple months of this calendar. You may also find that you will have a dream experience that when you awake lingers with you throughout the day, changes the way that you look at aspects in your life, changes the way that you feel towards certain people, just know that this is a process that your conscious mind was not willingly able to take on. And therefore your subconscious mind had to plant the seeds in order for your awareness in your waking life to be kind of focused in on the subconscious triggers that are being created for your highest good. There is going to be a lot of third eye head pressure, again with the sinuses, again with the pressure behind the eyes. There's popping, there's clicking, there's vibrating. It almost feels like, there's a leak in our brains. And of course, our brains are not operating on the practical and logical timelines that we would like, because again, timelines are dissolving right now. And because of that, new information is coming in intuitively, subconsciously, before it actually makes sense to us in our physical realm. So again, memory flashbacks, dream flashbacks, having all of this subconscious content come into the conscious awareness is the name of the game at this particular point in time. And that is just going to add to the overall pressure and sensation that we have been feeling in the third eye, that we will continue to feel in the third eye as things change, as information comes in, as old programs get deleted, as new perspectives and new narratives take form. There's going to be bouts of dizziness here this week, and it might be connected with all of a sudden a debilitating ear ringing, but mostly we're just going to feel spaced out. We're going to feel mentally congested. We're going to have dizzy spills that really disorient us. Why? Because our subconscious self and our conscious self are working simultaneously to bridge the past, present, and future into this present moment to rewrite the codes that we need to have in order to create and manifest the dreams, the prayers, the visions that we've been working so hard on. Okay, so there is an overwhelming energy taking over in our headspace, in our mental plane, activating certain areas of our brain that stores memories. And this is all divinely scripted in order for us to feel so mentally confused, especially from all the information that we're bringing in from our external physical realms and trying to make sense of it inside of ourselves. This is where our inner truth needs to emerge, where we have to validate ourselves instead of looking outside of ourselves for things to make sense. It is the elevator feeling. We talked about this about a month ago. There's this elevator feeling when you're on an elevator where, things go up and then things come down. And a lot of that is happening because, our lower chakra system, which roots us to our physical experience here in this human avatar, they're being cleansed, they're being purged, especially our solar plexus, right below the rib cage. That is where our gut instincts are. And we're trying so hard from egoic avatar sense to make sense of things going on in life that we can't make sense of. Why? Because it is cosmic. It is divine. Your solar plexus is an energy center that is being, manipulated by the high vibrational frequencies that are taking place on the earth right now. And so there is a little bit of reevaluating, restructuring, reorganizing going on in our energy centers. And so we are going to have bouts where we are feeling that elevator experience. I want you to pay attention to what's going on in your mental plane, in your physical realm, in your heart space when these feelings come over you, because it is likely a moment that you have been time traveling, where the past, the present, and the future is merging all in the same frequency. And that is the physical aspect, the physical repercussions that we get, which is this elevator feeling of finding our center point, our grounding point once again. Midweek, especially, we're going to have those heart palpitations again. We might even find ourselves in a little bit of a bout of depression where grief just seems to overcome us, even if it's for an hour, which is highly possible because we are in an accelerated time frame right now. We have the potential to feel absolutely heartbroken and then just like that, heal from it. And again, these are fear activations changing. These are vibrations and frequencies changing. This is the old trauma-based programming being rewritten by new codes. This is an aspect that we have to feel what we have to heal. And a lot of this is creating a trauma response in our physical and biological bodies from past experiences so that we can feel it for one last time and recognize in our present moment that those circumstances have changed. We're not in those surroundings. We're not in those environments. We are safe. We are secure. We are taken care of. And so we can process that heartache, that grief, that depression, that fear a lot quicker and actually root into a new narrative, leaving that emotional baggage behind. There's going to be feeling like we've been talking about the ears ringing and ears kind of cracking, especially when downloads of high vibrational frequencies are coming into the earth. That is, downloading new information, downloading new light codes. What I want to kind of explain about this week is, that feeling, I don't even know why the pool analogy is coming up for me this week, but that's what they're showing me. So that's what I'm going to use. That feeling when you're in the water and you get out of the water and you have like ear bubbling, like ear popping, like there's water in your ear and it feels like there's water in your ear and you're trying to get it out. And then it feels like it's clear. And then all of a sudden it feels like it's not clear again. And there's like, muffling through that ear and popping and like crackling. Well, that's what we're going to experience this week. And a lot of that is because A, Jupiter is in Pisces. B, Mercury, with all the pressure from Gemini season, not making a whole lot of sense. There's pressure in the head trying to come out logically. There's information and pressure from the cosmos, divine intuition coming in externally, right? So where that pressure meets, the internal pressure and the external pressure meet is in the air canal. The air canal biologically is ruling over our balance. And we're going to feel a lot of unbalanced moments this week where we're unsure and we're unstable and we're uncertain about what it is that we're doing. And that is where the water in the ear kind of pops and cracks, and just the sensation of having water in your ear and everything being muffled and everything, you could be in your exact same situation, but if your ear is clogged, suddenly it feels like a brand new world, right? Like everything feels different. And this is what we're currently going through. This is a stripping away of ego and preparing us to align with our higher selves, with our higher truths. And again, may I remind you, we are in the eclipse window. Things are about to get crazy. So two more things that I want to talk about before I wrap this up. Regurgitation. Now, I know that sounds really gross. I know over the last couple of weeks, we've been struggling with digestive issues. Why? Because we've been having new information and new perspectives emerge, new details emerge, that we've been finding it hard to swallow, hard to digest, hard to process. A lot of the weeks gone by, we have experienced either bouts of constipation, which is holding on, not wanting to let go of the past, or diarrhea. Damn near just uncontrolled explosions of movement, right? That is where the bursts of energy pushing us forward, clearing us out of old, dated patterns and programmings have taken place. This week, I want to talk about the throat. First and foremost, the throat chakra is super activated under Gemini season, under all this mercurial energy. Our throat chakra is our voice. It's where we speak our truth. It's where we ask questions, where we share ideas, where we collaborate with other people, where we speak our dreams, our visions into our physical reality. It is the portal between our throat chakras and our realistic realms. I want to remind you that what you say about yourself in your head and through your throat chakra is what is true in this physical realm. When you speak, you are casting spells. When you spell words, that is a spell. That's why it's so important to have the narrative, I am confident, I am brave, I am powerful, I am. Anything that you say after I am will manifest in your physical realm. So this is why the throat chakra is so important, especially to be used correctly. But the throat chakra is highly activated under Gemini season and under all this mercurial energy. So the regurgitation that I want to talk about is a couple of things. First of all, we are still finding it hard to swallow certain aspects, certain truths, certain details. We swallow it, it gets halfway down, and then all of a sudden it comes back up again. We need to re-chew it. We need to break it down a little bit more. We could gag on the details of what is coming up for us. We could just puke up the old, the trauma, the memories, the pain. We could just swallow about anything to do with confidence and clarity, and then all of a sudden it gets halfway down and it wants to come back up for reprocessing. So we are going to feel like it's hard to swallow things. We are going to feel like food is coming back up, like we can choke on our spit, right? There's a lot of throat activations, especially where new information is coming in, activating a new truth within us. If we bite our tongue, if we do not express ourselves, we will choke on our own tongues. So be very careful with chewing. Make sure you're chewing your food. Make sure you're chewing the details up, processing it to the point of no return before you try to digest that, or else it will come back up. To add to that, there's going to be a sense of jaw unalignment. You ever have any of those days where you're talking and it all of a sudden seems like your lower jaw is trying to like divorce the rest of your face and just has a mind of its own, and it doesn't seem to line up with your teeth anymore, and you put your teeth together and it's like, what happened? Like, it doesn't even feel like my teeth fit together, and you go to chew your food and all of a sudden, your jaw is out of placement. Like, it's just weird. It's a weird physical sensation. And overall, the ascension symptom that is coming up for us this week is feeling like our jaws are not in alignment. A lot of this is because the lower jaw, again, very activated by the throat chakra, it is connected to the lower chakra system, which connects us to our egoic physical realms, and our upper jaw, very connected to, of course, the third eye, which is our higher selves and the divine cosmos. We're going through huge upgrades in an accelerated state in our upper chakras, and the lower chakras, of course, are taking a little bit more time. So it is going to feel like your jaw, your lower jaw in particular, is just on its own mission. I don't want you to get freaked out. There might be some jaw clicking, some jaw popping. It won't last very long. We will feel in alignment very, very shortly, probably by the end of the week. So I don't want you to take up too much concern here with it, but just note that we are unaligned in these moments. Think about what's going on in your head. Think about what's going on in your heart. Think about what's going on in your physical reality, and realize that the unalignment that you feel is being physically manifested in the unalignment of the jaw. What does the jaw do? The jaw breaks down the food. Why do we need to break down why do we have to break down the food? So that we don't choke, so that we can digest it. What happens this week? We have regurgitation issues. What does this suggest? That our jaw is unaligned because of the information coming through that we're trying so desperately hard to break down, to digest, to actually integrate, but we're trying to speed through it. It's not happening. Therefore, our jaw is unaligned. We're not breaking things down to the maximum size that it needs to be. We're trying to swallow the truth. We're trying to swallow new perspectives, new information. And what happens? It comes back up for reprocessing. So that sounds like a lot of ascension symptoms to be dealing with. It is. But again, may I remind you that this just means that you are in alignment with the cosmos, with the divine plan, with the collective consciousness. There are things that you can do to lessen the symptoms: essential oils, grounding, salt baths, connecting with nature, wearing your hood up, cold cloths on the back of the neck, running your hands under cold water, eating grounding foods, chocolate, mushrooms, potatoes. There are so many things that you can do to ease these ascension symptoms. And all I want to remind you is that we have agreed to come back and shift the vibration of the world. So there is no room. There is no room for whiners and complainers when we are here to enter into new earth. Do with it what you will. Give yourself 5 minutes to complain, to be sad, to bitch, to just, feel sorry for yourself, and then slap your face out of it and stand in the power of which you are, which is creating this new earth for the collective.